Folks fresh off the plane, they both weathered the pain with postcards. This is a song about being a kid. 'Cause being a grown-up sucks. Yeah. Hey. Yep. My folks fresh off the plane, they both weathered the pain with postcards, and they prayed for some co-stars. Had a baby like Mozart, guitar virtuoso, like Tom Morello with Zach De La Rocha, while I did home. This is a yelling all drug, hoping Papa don't preach like he usually do. Make a big speech, he a choosy dude, yeah. And Mama cook, eats like a goosey soup. Right before sleep, I love Lucy too. Now we singing Nick at Night. Skywalker, Cyclops or Cyberman, Arkham Asylum and vibe where the sidewalking. Style to MacGyver to Pride Rock to Frylocking. Fights with Nuke Cybot or Psylocke and Psyducking. I spend the summer overdosing on Pokemon, chilling with my brother on the sofa while home alone. Anytime it thunder, then we wanna run close to mom. I remember posting with my bros in Hiroshima. Yeah, whether Christmas or it's Halloween, fuck a distance, they will always be a part of me. If life a RPG, I want them in my party. We a army, thick as Heifer, Filbert in the modern Wallaby. We gotta be. Let's go away for a while. I'm a child. It's a strange and distant land where we only speak the truth. Everyone understands how we play. Back in the day, let's go away for a while. I'm a child. It's a strange and distant land where we only speak the truth. Everyone understands how we play. Back in the day.
Pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up. Oh, I need you to pick up for me.
Hello, no one
Come on, nigga, pick up.
take your call. Please leave a message for
Where you at right now? And I was riding downtown in the pickup, going get my own boy pickup. Then I hit the weed man pickup. Blowing up his phone, he don't pick up. Looking for a shorty I can pick up. Out with the drinks on hip up. And you know that the whole lot lit up. Put your hands up, baby, this is sick up, sick up. Riding downtown in the pickup. Go and get my homeboy pick up. Then I hit the weed man pick up. Blowing up his phone, he don't pick up. Looking for a shorty I can pick up. Out with the jeans on hip up. And you know that the whole lot lit up. Put your hands up, baby, this is sick up. I was on the project stool, you was a for cribbing. Had a plan rolled up when it's probably pulled up, yeah. And you know what they tripping. So I dip out the back and started my engine. Put in my entrance, shoes all custom, 35 inches. And it still smell, it don't go sideways, 35 pinches. Turn left by the purple, with the pants still flat, just the way I rocked it. And I crept in the low, with the only blonde in my left front pocket, yeah. Soon as I see no cops in there, I'ma pull in no rocking chair. Turn up the Doja Island, that's when I pull out the Doja and spark it. Riding downtown in the pickup, go and get my own boy pickup. Then I hit the weed man pickup, blowing up his phone, he'll pick up. Looking for a shorty I can pick up. Out with the drinks on hip up. And you know that the whole lot lit up. Put your hands up, baby, this is sick up, sick up. Riding downtown in the pickup. Go and get my homeboy pick up. Then I hit the weed man pick up. Blowing up his phone, he'll pick up. Looking for a shorty I can pick up. Out with the jeans on hip up. And you know that the whole lot lit up. Put your hands up, baby, this is sick up, sick up. Slide in the back of the pickup. take it easy on the speed bumps. No, we smoke it down to the tree stumps. No, we go back like free lunch. If you shooting the breeze, then hold it come up. Throw a couple snaps on the nigga. We run to a sack like a nickelback hit sick. Keep coming back like a hiccup. Things still the same over here, over here, over here, over here. Me and the bros getting litty. We used to roll through the city. We made our own little committee. We only roll if it's 50. But the bottles is for fishing. Phone on 20. Leave me alone, I'm busy. Got the homies in the L450 like. Riding downtown in the pickup. Go and get my own boy pickup. Then I hit the weed man pickup. Blowing up his phone, he don't pick up. Look at boy shorty, I can pick up. Out with the jeans on hip up. And you know I got the whole block lit up. Put your hands up, baby, this is sick up. Riding downtown in the pickup. Go and get my own boy pickup. Then I hit the weed man pickup. Blowing up his phone, he don't pick up. Look at boy shorty, I can pick up. Out with the jeans on hip up. And you know I got the whole block lit up. Put your hands up, baby, this is sick up.
Any kind of smoke, man, gliding. Man, gliding. Any kind of war, man, gliding. On God to my death, me not care. The dirt I've done, me not care. If I do dog guy, me not care. You know smoke must spark anywhere. Anyhow, how many missions wanna cheat, don't care. Be a rise of a shooting star. Living la vida a loca, so I must feed them the loca. Because you school-faced don't mean you're bad. Because you toast gangs don't mean you shoot. High energies, body head top loose. I guide me, I don't follow no rules. I fuck that, hold that grudge to the death for me. Snakes in the grass, hella scheming. I'm trying to take off heads, you're weak, that's why you pre them things. Self-conscious, brother, you need to love yourself for something. Gliding, you know, gliding. Any kind of smoke, man, gliding. Any kind of war, man, gliding. For their money, I'm gliding. Hey, girl, move your back, stay grinding. Any kind of war, man, gliding. Any kind of war, man, gliding. For their money, I'm gliding. Gliding.
Can't be us, don't get stressed, just look to the sky and say, no, I'm blessed. It's an eye for an eye and I ain't blind yet. And I'm coming from a place where they don't give up yet. I stay raggo, give gal tapo, glide how I glide when I'm high, this in ammo. She want the wine cause the red wine run out. And I come 8 times, she is wine when I done side. In the war, crocodile, see you later. Born in the war, got calm for a hater. Get one the nurture, not in my nature. Always been a walker with a liquor flavor. You're from where I'm from, then you're on what I'm on.
The End.fm, I am DJ Zouain. This is The Hijack. Welcome to The Hijack. Thank you for being a part of the program. My name is DJ Zouain, a.k.a. the Nancy Zieman of broadcasting. Literally just learned who that is today. I was called that. I was called the Nancy Zieman of broadcasters. Which I guess that means that I can sew enough, well enough to have a PBS show, because apparently that is who that is. Shout out to her. The show is brought to you by the End.fm. The End.fm for all of your podcast and DJ mix needs. Go to the End.fm and scroll down. If you scroll down to the at the End.fm, you can actually go and get your scheduled appointment to get your medical marijuana card. So go to buddocs.org, or better yet, go to the End.fm, scroll down, click on that thing, and you can set up an appointment to get your very own medical marijuana card. So you don't have to go through the black market, so you don't have to deal with knockoff stuff that is not really being looked at in any meaningful way as far as oversight for products and stuff like that. So you could be just getting whatever. So just make sure that whatever substances that you are taking, that you're doing it with the heads up of a medical medical professionals. So yeah, buddocs.org, go to the n.fm, check that out. We have a few things to talk about. Oh, also Imperial Class Tattoo. Go to Imperial Class Tattoo and get your tattoo there. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was William Shatner, Mr. Billy Shatner. So Will Shatner is he actually goes to space. He goes to almost space. He doesn't go to actually space, but he is the oldest person to be launched into almost space. The info that I got here is actually from Reason.com. He was 66 miles above the planet's surface, so he was just above what they call the Kármán line, which marks the boundary between Earth and space. So that line is at 66 miles above the planet's surface. So just about at the Kármán line, not actually there. That's what that means. I looked up the information from a clearly more of a right-wing site, but it says the article pointed out that Shatner makes an emotional case for private space tourism. Did he? Did he actually make make a good case for it? Because what I saw personally, was an old rich guy who is famous for pretending to be in space, going to space because of a dude that killed bookstores. That's essentially what I saw happening. So, like, I don't know that he made a great case for private. He was basically saying that, like, that this was life-changing for him, et cetera, which you would expect from somebody who's never been to space or somebody who's been to space to say. It's life-changing. I wish everybody could see this. And, you know, the argument that was made in the article, at least, I don't think that Shatner made this comment, but the article made the argument that other technologies that are commonplace today were only available to the rich and famous first, which is a fair argument. But here's the thing. This is my biggest complaint with that, my biggest issue with that, is how about we fix hunger first? Or maybe housing, maybe healthcare. Let's fix any of those things down here, and let's do that by making better than these cartoonishly, easily manipulable loopholes in our tax code that allow these rich bros to do a space launch just as a look what I can do. Look what I can do. And then there's the whole Shatner thing. Because I particularly remember when the penis guy, the bro dude penis guy, he looks like a penis. Bezos, thank you. Jeff Bezos, when he went out into space with his brother and two other people, I think an old lady, I think, when he went out, everybody was shitting on him. I was shitting on him. He sounded. And I have to say that this is the first time that I heard him speak was when he did the conference right after he came down from his roller coaster, and he sounded like the bro dude that I think he is. I just didn't think it was going to be that cartoonishly accurate. But then fast forward to a few days ago, whenever this was, and you have people singing the praises of Blue Origin. And look, the engineers at Blue Origin and all that, yes, awesome. But I've seen people say, thanking Bezos and saying things like, look, I'm glad that Shatner got the opportunity. That's really awesome. He got to almost space, and that was great. But let's face it, at the end of the day, that does diddly for anything that we deem important. Right now, we have a worldwide pandemic. I don't know if Bezos heard or got the memo. Maybe Shatner's old ass did, but apparently he didn't, because And this is, that's what I'm saying. Like, fix hunger, fix healthcare, fix housing, fix any of these. Pick one and then fix it and then go to fucking space, man. Please. Like, that's what I'm saying. And we do that, again, by removing the loopholes and by stopping the spending so much on the defense that we haven't had since World War II. We've been a Department of Offense. Department of Offense. That's what we should be called. Not DOD. DOA. Dead on arrival. Actually, that kind of works. Anyway, so the other thing is, aren't astronauts supposed to be fit? Like, not for nothing. I'm not fat shaming. I'm not doing. Look, I'm a fat dude. Is this guy? These two guys, because Bezos now is ripped because he's got, personal trainer, billions of dollars, et cetera. But what's his name? Shatner. I mean, this told me, and I think there was a meme running around that says this means that any of us could be astronauts. And the answer is true. And the answer is yes, that is absolutely true. Any of us can be astronauts now. How crazy is that shit? Like, aren't they supposed to be fit? Aren't these rich dorks who can't lift a phone book? Like, what are they doing? How are they surviving in 0G? That's what I want to know. But either way, that is, somehow this is not a tragic story. And I'm not saying that anybody should have died. I'm saying somehow this is not a tragic story in the sense that it's not a tragic story that a rich man, instead of buying a very expensive ride, essentially is what he's doing, getting to almost space, instead of doing that, fix any of these other things, man. And you would get much better PR. Even if it's the more conservative move, even if you think about it. Just saying. Then you got, you have people that are just cartoonishly, like Scrooge McDuck level rich. And they're like, hey, that entire country lives off of, $12 a month. Talking about like Haiti or something. And I'm going to spend my money on space. Like, I'm not saying that people should revolt or whatever, but how has it gotten this bad? That you simultaneously have private people, right now, I guess the top, I guess 1%, I think is what, don't quote me on this, but it was something like the top 1% it's an equally scary metric that I just heard. The top 1% owns 60% of the wealth or some shit like that. Something ridiculous that, like, they own more than half than the rest of the people. It's very, very, very strange. I wish I had that. But, like, it's just a one thing that can identify the problem. Hey, people have enough money to go to space, and then these people don't have enough money to eat. So why don't we figure this shit out? I remember hearing something about a long time ago about how our weeks now should be, according to history, according to futurists from the 60s and 70s, we are supposed to be doing 30 or 20-hour work weeks, 4-day work weeks, that kind of thing. And we are more worked and more underpaid than we have ever been. But hey, rich man went back to space, to almost space. So, good for them. And good for Shatner. I'm glad. He's a Canadian treasure. He is. But we could have used that money for other shit. I wonder how much money it took to get Shatner, just Shatner up there, and how much money, or how much that could have fixed whatever problems we have here today. But let it not be said that I don't, that I am not objective in my views. Because old and busted Superman called the new bisexual, new hotness Superman. He called the writing of this Superman's kid in. They called it bandwagoning. This is Dean Cain. So DC goes after DC. And for those who aren't hip to the DC comic book series, the latest events, Superman's kid is apparently bisexual, which I guess that also makes him a Superman. I'm not sure. I've been corrected 3 times, and I've been affirmed that I was right 3 times. So I don't know what's what. But either way, John Kent, Clark Kent's kid, also a Superman, but he's also bisexual. Dean Cain is a former Superman, and apparently he has something to say about it. So that's what he was saying. I thought he was dead, but then I realized that I was thinking of Herman Cain. Of course, the alive Cain is the one that spewed spewed all of us in Fox and Friends. He was at Fox and Friends talking about this, and he called it lame. He wasn't. He said it's not a bold and new direction for the character. How predictable is a Fox News guest / contributor / watcher / votes the way that Fox News would like you to vote? How many of those people are so predictable? Because I knew nothing about Dean Cain's politics. I knew nothing about anything about him until I heard about this. And then I looked him up, and it looks like he's your typical run-of-the-mill, right-wing, like everything that you think of when you think of a right-wing Hollywood guy, it's him. That's Dean Cain. Sorry, Herman Cain is the politician that died from coronavirus because he was in an unmasked stadium in May or something like that of 2020. Just ridiculous. So, but how predictable is that? These days we have, I don't see. Okay, and this is the part that I will divert from my probably LGBT friends and things. And actually, no, a lot of my LGBT friends agree with me that this is rainbow capitalism. This is just rainbow capitalism all over again. DC is trying to make it happen. And look, it's not the first time, and it's not going to be the last time they do it. It's just not. These days, we have a Pacific Island Aquaman, girl Ghostbusters, a bisexual Superman. I'm for it. Let's throw a little color in our superheroes. Let's throw a little mocha in the superhero latte. I mean, let's even have Ghostbusters that are female. Oh my God, dude! The amount of shit that those ladies got for being lady Ghostbusters, or as we like to call them, Ghostbusters. I just felt it was so weird. Oh, and speaking of Fox News, speaking of old Fox News. So Fox News, obviously, the outside of OAN, One America News, and the other one that escapes my mind that is another toxic waste of misinformation, they have been the people holding the torch in the mainstream media against vaccinations and with vaccination hesitancies and throwing the, well, actually... You know that guy. You know that guy in every friend group. Well, actually, that's not what it is. Sometimes that's me, actually. Sometimes that's me. But Fox News, who is the COVID, when it comes to COVID denialism and COVID vaccine restrictions, talking bad about that. Fox News has a COVID policy that is stricter than Biden's. Joe Biden, our old ass president, is calling for weekly testing of many jobs in the private sector. We all know that. Everybody's up in arms about that. Fox News actually falsely blamed the Southwest Airlines thing on people quitting. It's completely bull crap. That's not the case. And they, up until, they keep talking about, Tucker Carlson, vaccine hesitancy. Those guys are the kings of it. And Fox News requires its employees to be vaccinated or to take the COVID daily test. Like, not only is Fox News requiring them to disclose their vax status, the whole HIPAA thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene was bitching about, which is not, by the way, 90% of them are vaccinated. So, as if that wasn't enough, 90% of these hypocrites, these misinformation mills, this walking punchable face of Tucker Carlson. What's the over-under on Tuck being vaccinated? What is the over-under on that? Tucker Carlson looks like every dude that you knew in college that was paying $65 for an eighth of what was half of it was oregano. The idea that Fox News, one of the leading voices in vaccine hesitancy and anti-vaccine bullshit, that they have a stricter vaccine mandate than the one that they were bitching about with Joe Biden. Honestly, that's barely news. Because this is exactly what they do. This is what they do. This is their thing. I don't think that, like, it's not like these people are hiding it even. Like, that's the thing about the right wing, I feel, in the 90s. And in the early aughts, when I was a part of them, when I was a right-wing, evangelical, Bible-believing, red American Christian. When I was doing that, I feel like they were more covert in their racism, in their classism, in their bigotry. And then I think, you know what I think might have changed? I actually worked in conservative talk radio. Working in conservative talk radio taught me that it did the same thing that working at an evangelical Christian church would have done for me. I have friends that spent years working for an evangelical church, and they realized how the sausage was made. And I mean, now I don't believe they consider themselves evangelical. One of them is a devout atheist. Like, this is how I feel about the political spectrums. And, like, I feel like they were way more covert back in the day about their racism and bigotry. But now they're completely overt about it. They don't care. And you have people like Tucker Carlson, who is, as a gambling man, I am willing to bet vaccinated. I am willing to bet that Tuck is vaccinated. 90% of them are. It's insane to me. It's insane to me that we even consider that network a news network. They're a news network in the same way Comedy Central is a news network. It's ridiculous. And finally, I want to talk about Dave Chappelle again, because I talked about him at the last show, and apparently I'm My question was, is it two questions? Number one, is he cancelable? And number two, is the cancellation that he is suffering, maybe, assuming he can be canceled, which I don't think he can be, is that warranted? And is that doing more harm than good? Because hear me out. If you just cancel people who are not doing things out of malice, but doing things because they are misunderstood or they misunderstand how science works. Or, that's... Even saying that, I say that hesitantly because I don't understand it. I don't understand... I understand the concept of being trans and stuff like that, but there are scientists on both sides, and I think that it is now accepted science, from what I understand, that gender is basically a construct of society. This is based on the majority of scientists, which is what I typically go by. The biggest objection that people had about Chappelle was him saying that there are two genders. Do I think he is wrong? Yes, if the science that I have been told is correct, then he is wrong. But what good would it do if just you have a whole bunch of people cancel him because of that? And the other part is, not that many people are canceling him. Not that many people are on board with this cancellation. Number one, because I'm assuming it's hard to do. Not I'm assuming, I know it's hard to do. The guy, again, I said it last week, the guy walked away from $50 million or $20 million. He walked away from Chappelle's show and went to Africa. Do you really think he's going to care if you don't watch his Netflix special, the next 6 that he does? I thought the special was hilarious. I thought that what he did was what he said was incorrect. I hope that someday he can get educated on it, and that he cares enough to get educated on it, because it does affect a portion of humanity. I'm not even saying the U.S. because the guy is a worldwide icon. So instead of banning him, or instead of canceling him, somebody that has that a big audience, an audience that is arguably one of the biggest in all of comedy, definitely all of comedy, arguably one of the biggest in all the world. What I'm saying is that you don't. There is no logical reason to cancel Dave Chappelle. There's not. And if you think so, please let me know what your logic is behind doing that. And I will listen. I will listen. I think that we need to have more conversations, some back and forth. I think that we need to have more conversations with a Joe Rogan and a Sanjay Gupta like we had a few days ago. I think that we need to stop being so fucking combative about everything and start listening to one another and find out whether there's malice in the person, and then make a judgment based on that. Don't make it based on, what he has been or what they have been culturally, beat down on for the last. If I kept going with what I was taught my first 20 years of my life, I would still be a bigoted evangelical Christian that loves the sinner but hates the sin. Something that Jesus didn't even say. It was a Gandhi quote. Anyway, all that to say, let's start listening to one another a little bit more. And my name is DJ Zouain. You can find me anywhere on social media at DJ Zouain. That is DJ Zouain, and I'm on all the socials. Make sure and find me. You can also check out the N.FM, and you can subscribe to all of the programs. You could subscribe to The Hijack, Irreverent, the Monday Music Mix, all of it. Just all there at the N.FM. You can scroll down. You can set up your appointment for buddocs.org. They can set you up with your medical marijuana card. And other than that, we have a nice weekend coming up out here. I hope you do too. My name is DJ Zouain. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.